So the question is, why does fission occur? And the reason why fission occurs here is that because for very heavy nuclei, we know there is a delicate balance within the nucleus. And we've talked about this in the previous chapter. So what we're really doing here is that we're comparing the strong nuclear attraction versus the electrical repulsion of the protons here. And so what you're seeing here is that the nuclear force dominates in almost all nuclei except uranium. It's a tenuous, situation here. So this is kind of what happens here. And this is what's known as the liquid drop model of fission. So this is known as the liquid drop model of fission. And when you look at this thing here, is that it goes something like this here. And so I send in a neutron. Okay, I send in my neutron. And as I send in my neutron, what I'm seeing here is that this guy's coming in, and we know that there's sort of like this, you're shooting in this, and we already said that this guy comes in nice and slow. And so what happens here is that now you could imagine that you have sort of like a drop of water here. And so when I think about this drop of water, you could imagine that it looks something like this. And what you're seeing here is that what's barely keeping this thing together is that the nuclear force is just strong enough to keep uranium nuclei close together. So in this case, what we're seeing here is that the greater force is the nuclear one. But what happens is that as soon as you capture it, so now we go to neutron capture. So now we're looking at neutron capture. And if I look at neutron capture, what happens is that it critically deforms the nuclei. And so what you're seeing here is that now you get this deformation of the nucleus here. And so what I'm saying here is that this neutron capture critically deforms the nucleus or the nuclei. So what do I mean by critically deforms? It starts oscillating back and forth. Okay, and as it oscillates, what you find here is that then you go to the fission process. Now, what do I mean by the fission process? So now what you're seeing here is that you're getting one of the nuclei sort of going like this here. And so now what you're seeing is that you're forming almost like a little barbell. And so what you're finding then is that that weakens the nuclear process. So now these guys go through a process where they start to repel each other. So here, the greater force initially was the nuclear one. Now we say that the greater force is the electrical one. And so what you're seeing here is that when I look at this guy, what you're seeing here and here is that this is, how do I say this? These become the fission products. Maybe I shouldn't have said products. I should have said fragments. So if I look at the reaction that we were talking about, you could then see if you have 235. So here you would have, this would be 235. Okay. You would have 235. And then as it fissions, it then goes into 137 barium plus, what was the other one? I think it was 184 krypton. I'm pretty sure it's 84 krypton. It is. And then you get 84 krypton. So when I'm asking you to sort of like visualize what a fission process is, this is the way you should think about it. And this is a very, very good working model. So I actually made a mistake, believe it or not. I made a really silly mistake. I'm going to have to correct myself. So here I go. I got to go back up. I just realized I made a mistake. I made a mistake right here. It is not 235. It is 236. I'm sorry. Because when I come down here, it should be 236 that fissions. And I didn't realize it till I started drawing it out right here. So what you're seeing here is that you have a neutron plus uranium 235. When I get a neutron capture, it doesn't go to 235, it goes to 236 uranium. And then it goes to that process right there. And I just realized it right now. So when I'm looking at this thing, what should I really be thinking about? Well, I probably, just to summarize this thing into words, I would probably say the first thing like this. With neutron capture, the nucleus is stretched into an, I guess, an elongated shape. Okay, it's stretched into this shape here. Now, as a consequence of this, what we then say is that the electrical forces push the nucleus into an, how do I say this, even more, I guess, elongated shape. And so what happens here is that now it gets into the critical point. And so once this happens here, what you're seeing here is that once it passes a critical point, the nucleus splits. And when it splits, then we say we have fission. So I think that's a really, really good picture here. So what I want to do here is that if I was to go back and look at the details of this thing, okay, let's go back and look at the details of this. And so what I want to do here is that I want to go in and I want to show you, where could I put those at? Oh. You know, I'm going to have to go get them. I wanted to have them in the table. You know, I guess my question to you is that, do I have to show you the elements every single time? Can I just write them down? And my guess would be that I could just write them down. So typically, I just want to show you references of what we always have. So you know I'm not sort of like, how do I say this? That I'm not trying to pull a fast one on you. So I'm going to say I'm not going to go get the elements this time. So if I don't go get the elements, then what am I looking at? Well, what I'm looking at here is that I'm looking at something like this. So if I look at fission, what we said already is that I'm going to go through that picture that we have.